Good morning, old boys. Here I am in the Big Smoke. More specifically, I am at one of our major feeder schools up here in Gauteng, and I'm about to start spreading the good word about our school. Some of you might recall a roll call from late April where I unpacked our 2025 intake. Well, now we're a couple of weeks. In fact, we're elbows deep in securing our 2026 E-Block intake. A big part of that is interacting with families of aspirational boys who one day dream of wearing the red and white. Now, I've had the good fortune of interacting with well over 2,300 families during my time at my class, and a big part of that interaction, as I peel back the layers of what it means to be a part of my class, is to walk them around our beautiful campus. Now, you can imagine I'd have racked up some miles during those interactions. In fact, it's somewhere around the equivalent of a walk from Balgowan to Cape Town, back to headquarters, and then all the way back to Cape Town again. One of the things I delight in sharing with them as I talk them through the process is our many, many noble traditions, our rites of passage. I think of the small but beautiful detail that it's only ever boys from Tatham who will ever be a campanologist, in other words, who will ring the chapel bells. I think of our walk to Intlazan, something which bonds us. The fact that it's only school prefects who ever walk on those lawns in the main quad. The CAC-COP relationship, that special engagement between older boys and younger boys in their care. And of course, some of the newer traditions like the A-blockers walking together, shoulder to shoulder down Warriors Walk as they leave the school gates for the last time. Now, there's some things which would probably be more hard-pressed to think of as traditions. And one of the things I like to share with many of the families is kind of light-hearted attempt to put their boys at ease. And I talk about how if it's going to stress them that when they play sport, the socks on their feet will have two different name tags, and the likelihood is that neither of them will be a boy in his house, well, then they should probably go for therapy. I also tell them that it's very likely that when they go and leave, the tie around their neck will have the name tag of a boy who had been at my class 10, perhaps 15 or 16 or 17 years ago, and that they shouldn't worry. It's their tie now, and it will be somebody else's tie next. And while I'm making those confessions, they are tongue-in-cheek, but at the back of my mind, I know that they're real. So while I've got your attention, if you're keen to pick up your ties again, I have a house prefect's tie over here, 6810 Porter. I know you live in Tasmania, so Stu, anytime you want your tie back, I've got it for you. Perhaps a little harder to explain. I have a rugby sock here, SM small 7719. I know that you're based in Australia these days, but if you want your sock back, I've got it. Come and get it. Perhaps tougher to explain, a school tie, Andrew Mitchell, 4606. I've got your tie. So if you doubt me, I'm sure that those laundry numbers are surely the verity behind the fact. I have your goods. Please come and collect them. So my class turned 128 on Saturday. We're an old school, and obviously it's inevitable that wherever boys gather in old places, traditions will arise. Now, obviously, that also is a hotbed for more nefarious traditions to bubble to the surface. There are always going to be ones which we should be defending, which we should be protecting tooth and nail. So I'd like to hear from you. What are some of those ones that you think that we should be fighting to preserve? And then equally, what are some of those traditions which are so meaningless that we actually can't justify them in 2024 any longer? Before I sign out, I just want to thank you, old boys, because we know that if we call, you answer. A couple of roll calls back, I pointed out our need for new chapel pews. Well, we called, you answered. All 36 have been secured. Thank you, old boys, sincerely. As recently as last night, I did have an old boy contact me to ask how he might go around securing a new bench. We've realized that many of the old benches are in desperate need of a refurbishment. So if you are interested in supporting that cause, please do get in touch with us. Thank you for everything you do, old boys, from the bottom of our hearts. So until next time I take roll call, out from Johannesburg.